Hello and welcome. My name's Sam and this is the Little Greenhouse Creates. Thank you for joining me today. And thank you for joining me for the first in this week's stamp set of the week, Reindeer Fun. And the card you see in front of you is the one that we're going to create. But first of all, I must apologise for the lateness of this video. I had recorded the entire video and I had done everything right to the end, pressed the button and went to upload it, and it told me that it hadn't recorded. So I must apologize. So we are take two, should I say, and here we are with the card. So this is the card we're going to create. This is the card that I created yesterday, and then the video decided not to record. So as you can see, they are both very similar. It is a beautiful stamp set called Reindeer Fun, and this is the article itself. There are 13 stamps and it comes with an amazing die set as well. I will show you the dies tomorrow, but first of all I wanted to focus today on these beautiful stamps. So as I normally do, I have printed out my stamps so I get a good feel for them. So what have we got? Let's have a look. We've got mother and baby reindeer. We have a prancing reindeer. We have a set of bells. We have some snowflakes. We have, I think they're meant to be footprints, but I think it could be slightly wrong. These are speckles that go onto the deer. This obviously is the collar that sits on this little deer, and we've got some holly, got a beautiful tree down here, and this really did flummox me. I had no idea what it was, and so I went onto Pinterest and I trawled and trawled and trawled and eventually found out that it's actually meant to be a collar that goes on here. So I will try that today and fingers crossed that is going to work. So let's put that aside and we will bring in our supplies. So I'm going to use an embossing folder. It is, for the life of me can't remember the name of it, so I will put the name of the embossing folder into the card supplies. If you follow me on YouTube, there will be a list down below of all the items that I have used today. So just click on that and it will give you a list. If you're on Facebook and you need to know anything, please just put a comment in the comments below and I will answer you as soon as I see the message. Okay, so the supplies are, so I've now gone for a lemon lolly. This measures 8 inches by 5 3/4. I have 2 pieces of white card, which are 3 1/2 by 5 1/4, one for the outside, one for the inside. I then have a piece of white cardstock again. This is 2 3/4 by 4 1/2, and then I literally have the tiniest border of Lost Lagoon, which makes this 2 7/8 by, so it's 2 7/8 by 4 5/8. There we go. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to focus on this little thing. And we're going to stamp up our 2 reindeer. We're in early espresso. So I'm just going to, because it is such a big stamp, I'm going to take the ink pad to the item rather than the other way round. I am just going to test it over here to make sure it's printing okay. Yep, that looks fine. So I'll just double check. There we go. And oh, there's a little bit of a mark there, so let's wipe that away because we do not need that added to our card. Right, so let's add that. So that goes down here in the far left hand corner. Okay, there is our little chap and mummy. Now I've got my snowflakes, and I've also got the Lost Lagoon for that. So the first thing I'm going to do, oh actually I tell you what, stop, hold, get step backwards. I have forgotten to add the the speckles on the mummy's back. Okay, so there's the speckles on mummy's back. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to try out this interesting little collar. I'm going to put it on my, whoops, let's make sure it's the right way round. Okay, so that's that. And then I'm just going to grab my real red and let's see if we can add this little scarf or bow to the mummy. Right, everybody keep your fingers crossed. I've got no idea what this is going to be like. So let's, there we go. Okay, here we go. Straight down and up. So, oh yeah, okay, so there's mummy's bow that goes round her neck. Okay, I'll live with that. I will live with that. Okay, so back to where we were. Fast forward. Okay, so I have got Merry Christmas, which I'm going to stamp up in Lost Lagoon, but I'm going to stamp it up in the full strength. Sorry. That is going to go in the top right hand corner. Let's just check that. Yep, happy with that. I have to say I love the font that they've used for the Merry Christmas. I really like the R and the S. For me, for some reason, it just feels Christmassy. Bizarrely, I suppose. Okay, so now I'm going to add a little bit of snow. But obviously I don't want it to be the same strength as the Merry Christmas. So I'm going to tap it onto the ink pad, tap it off, and then just pop it onto the paper. Okay, so tap it off, tap it on, tap it off. It's just going to add a little bit of snow flurry around our little reindeer. Okay. So the next thing to do now is to colour in our deer. So I am using, what am I using? I'm using crumb cake and I'm using lemon lolly. So I'm going to use lemon lolly on the tail of the baby, the inside of her ears, she's a she now, and on her tummy. There we go. And I will do the same with mummy. I'm then going to colour in the rest of her with this. So this is, as I say, the dark. I'm just gently going. I'm using the thin line. Obviously she's quite a delicate little detail. But obviously when you do the mum, you can obviously use the other end for quickness and for I would use the outside, so that this line to go on the outside and then this to colour in. But for the baby, I'm just going to use all of the thin line. There we go. Right, and down her legs. Now, so that you don't have to sit there and watch me colour in mummy, I will do that offline. I will pause the video and carry on doing that. So, bear with me for a second. And we're back. So, there we are. She is all coloured in. And while I was offline, I took advantage of running through my piece of cardstock, making sure that the line and the Stampin' Up logo were up. So I had the correct pattern facing me. So there we go. There is the mummy all coloured in. And now what we can do is that can be mounted onto the Lost Lagoon. I shall do that with my Stampin' Seal. So it's becoming to be a little bit like winter here at the moment. It is quite cold. There we go. So we're getting into the Christmas feel, I think. For those of you that wish to score, we are scoring this piece of cardstock at the 4-inch mark, and I'm just looking for my bone folder. Excuse me, there we go. And then I shall burnish, as I say, with my bone folder. I'm then going to attach my embossed piece of card onto the lemon lolly. I'm going to use my multi-purpose for this. The reason I've gone for a slightly smaller white piece was because I actually wanted a lot more of the background card to show through. So we've got a nice thick border on this edge. Okay. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to attach the main picture with dimensionals. So I'm just going to pop one on each corner. So I suppose unless you are living in Australia or in that hemisphere, you are too coming through to your cold snap. The heating is on and the dogs are certainly very grateful that their beds are by the radiators. Right, okay, so that goes onto there. So before I finish, the last thing to do now is to add my wink of Stella. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trace over each of the star shapes with my wink of Stella, and this will give me a little bit of sparkle. So it's almost like the sparkle of the snow coming down. I've allowed the ink to dry because what I didn't want was to be finding that I was spreading the ink across the page, because that really would not be a good look in any shape or form. Because sometimes, depending on how juicy the ink is, you can find that, which obviously you can want in occasions, is the ink will bleed across the page. Okay, so I'm hoping, let's have a look if you can see. Can you see? No, it's not focusing. Come on, you can do it. No, today it's not showing the sparkle of the glitter. But there we go. It is there. You saw me put it on. So that is today's card, and then we've got the one that I did yesterday and the original. So thank you ever so much for joining me today. I hope you like the card. Do join me tomorrow, Wednesday at 10, when we will introduce the dies, and you will love them, I assure you. Anyway, thanks ever so much for joining me today, and I hope to catch up with you very soon. Take care. Bye.